billionaire returned home earlier than usual. But what he saw inside his own house made his chest tighten and his heart nearly stop. In the quiet of the mansion, his only son was clinging desperately to the maid. The boy's small body trembled. His hands gripped her apron like his life depended on it. And she, shaking under the weight, tried with all her strength to hold him upright. The billionaire froze at the doorway, unable to breathe. His son, his only child, was out of his wheelchair. Anger boiled in his chest. His fists clenched. His voice thundered. But then the truth poured out. A truth that shattered walls of silence, cracked open hidden pain, and broke the father's heart in ways he had never felt before. And from that day on, nothing in their lives would remain the same. Before we dive in, tell us in the comments. What time is it, and where are you watching from right now? Let's begin. The house was big, but that afternoon it felt heavy. Silent. Not peaceful, but the kind of silence that sits on your shoulders and makes the air thick. Near the wide glass window sat a boy, 11 years old, his body strapped to a wheelchair, his hands clutching the armrests so tightly his knuckles turned pale. His name was Malik. He had eyes too dark for his age, eyes that had seen more loneliness than joy. His lips were pressed together, as if any word that slipped out would cut him like a knife. Malik didn't look at anyone anymore. He didn't want to. He sat there, staring out of the glass, whispering broken words to himself. They run. They all run. And I can't. His throat burned. His nails dug into his palms. At school, the children ran in circles during recess. Their sneakers slammed the ground like thunder. Their laughter shook the air. And Malik sat alone. No one called his name. No one waited for him. Nobody ever did. The door creaked open. A woman stepped in. She wore the plain blue dress of a maid, a white apron tied around her waist, her hair pulled back neat. She paused when she saw him. "Malik," she said softly, "why are you sitting here in the dark? Did you eat?" The boy didn't answer. His eyes stayed glued to the window, to the world beyond that he would never touch. She took slow steps toward him. Her shoes barely made a sound against the thick rug. "Talk to me," she pleaded. "Please." His jaw tightened. He shook his head. "Malik," she tried again, kneeling beside him. "I can't help if you keep everything inside." And then something in him snapped. "I said you can't help." His voice ripped out, sharp, broken. The maid flinched but didn't move away. "No one can help," Malik shouted. His fists slammed against his legs. "Look at me. My legs are useless. Dead. I'll never run. I'll never walk. I'm nothing." Tears stung his eyes. His chest heaved. "At school, nobody even looks at me," he cried. "Not one friend. Do you know what it feels like? To sit there like a ghost? To be invisible?" He pounded his thighs with his fists. "I hate this chair. I hate myself. Stop it," the maid snapped. Her voice, usually gentle, now fierce. She gripped his fists firmly. "Don't you dare say that. Don't you dare hurt yourself." His wet eyes glared into hers. "Then what am I?" Her voice cracked, but she didn't let go. "You're a boy with a heart that feels too much," she whispered. "That doesn't make you less, Malik. That makes you alive." And for the first time he collapsed into her arms. Stiff at first, but then trembling. His face buried in her apron, sobs tearing through his chest. "I don't want to be alive in this chair," he cried. Just once, let me stand. Please, please." Her body froze. "Malik," she whispered, "your father said never to push you, never to risk." "I don't care," he begged, lifting his swollen eyes to hers. "I don't care if it hurts. I don't care if I fall. I just want to know what it feels like. Just once. Please, make me stand." Her heart clenched. She saw his desperate lips trembling, his cheeks streaked with tears. She thought of the warnings, the strict rules, the fear. But then she looked at the boy in front of her. The boy who was begging not to be broken anymore. Slowly, she nodded. "All right, just for a moment. But you must hold on tight. You hear me?" He sniffed, nodding hard. She rose to her feet, braced herself, and slid her arms under his. On three, she whispered. 1, 2. He gritted his teeth, nails digging into her dress. 3. With all her strength, she pulled him up. Malik's legs dangled, weak, shaking like thin branches in the wind. His face twisted with pain, a cry ripping from his chest. But he was upright. For the first time in his life, he was standing. His voice cracked. His tears fell fast. I'm standing. Just a little more, she panted, her arms trembling under his weight. It hurts, he sobbed against her shoulder. God, it hurts. I know, she whispered quickly. I know, but you're doing it. You're standing, Malik. I'm normal, he whispered, choking on the word like it might disappear. His whole body shook, torn between agony and triumph. His head dropped against her shoulder, his tears soaking her collar. Just a few seconds, she muttered. Just a few more. And then, a sound behind them, a man's breath. In the doorway stood a tall man in a cream-colored suit. His face darkened, his fists clenched, his eyes wide with fury and disbelief. The billionaire, the father. What the hell are you doing with my son? His voice was ice. The maid froze. Malik clung tighter to her waist. Sir, she started, her throat tight. Enough, he thundered, stepping into the room. His polished shoes struck the floor like thunder. I told everyone in this house never to risk him. And here you are, dragging him out of his chair like some reckless fool. Do you want to cripple him for life? Dad, Malik cried, his voice cracking. Stop yelling. The man's eyes flickered to his son. For a second, his face softened. Then it hardened again. You could have fallen. Do you realize what could have happened? I asked her, Malik shouted through his tears. I begged her to help me. You don't listen to me. You never do. The father's chest rose and fell. His anger clashed with something he didn't want to admit. You don't know what's good for you, Malik. That's why I protect you. No, Malik screamed, his voice echoing off the walls. You don't protect me. You lock me up. You treat me like glass. Do you know what it feels like to sit in school while everyone runs, while everyone laughs, while I sit invisible? They don't talk to me, Dad. Not one of them. I'm nothing to them. Just the boy who can't walk. The maid, her arms trembling, slowly lowered him back into his wheelchair. Malik's head dropped, his voice barely a whisper. I didn't want to be nothing today. I just wanted to feel normal. Just once. The father's face cracked with pain, but his fear held him back. Normal? You could have been hurt. Hurt? The maid cut him off, her voice shaking but fierce. He hurts every single day, sir. Sitting by that window, going to a school where no one speaks to him, living in a house where even his own father looks at him like a mistake waiting to happen. The man's head snapped toward her, fury in his eyes. Careful, he warned. No, she said, standing her ground though her voice trembled. I won't be quiet. You're rich enough to buy the whole world, but you can't give your son the one thing he needs. Hope, he begged me, and I saw not a weak boy, not a reckless boy, but a child who wanted to feel alive. And you call that dangerous? The room went silent, and then Malik's small voice broke through. Dad, he whispered, tears rolling down his face. I don't want to be your broken son anymore. I just want you to see me, not the chair. Me. The father's chest heaved. His eyes glistened, though he blinked hard to hide it. And then, slowly, he dropped to his knees before the wheelchair. His hand reached for Malik's, trembling. I see you, he whispered, his voice breaking. I see you, son. I was so afraid of losing you that I forgot how to live with you. Forgive me. Malik's lips trembled. He threw his arms around his father's neck, sobbing into his shoulder. I just wanted you to be proud of me. The father held him close, his own tears spilling freely. I've always been proud. Always. I just didn't know how to show it. The maid stood back, tears streaking her cheeks. She hadn't meant to speak so boldly, but she didn't regret a word. The father looked up at her, guilt heavy in his face. "Thank you," he said hoarsely, "for giving him what I was too afraid to give." She lowered her eyes. "He only wanted a moment." The father nodded, pulling his son close. "From now on, he'll have more than moments. He'll have chances. Real ones. I promise." Malik pressed his cheek against his father's chest. For the first time in a long time, he believed it. "What about you? If this was your child, what would you have done? Tell us in the comments below. And don't forget, if this story touched your heart, hit the like button, subscribe for more emotional true-to-life stories, and share this video with someone who needs the reminder. Every child deserves to be seen.